Today's reading motivates us to take the theme two levels of life. Before going to the homily, let's start here with a question. When we join the minor seminary, the first thing the formators do is they give a Ren and Martin book to study grammar. So what is the first thing that we study? First portion of Ren and Martin? Sentence. Yes. There are different sentences we study. Second sentence. Yes. Figure of speech or the spots of speech. So we have some parts, the spots of speech, and in that noun is there. So how many nouns are there? How many kinds of noun we have? Yes. There are four nouns. One is a proper noun, second is a collective noun, and third is a abstract noun, fourth one common noun. So the one noun is the abstract noun. What is the specialty of this abstract noun? Exactly. We cannot see. So similarly, the two levels of life is one is the abstraction, the second one is the reality. The abstraction which we cannot see, the reality which we can see. So the first reading, taken from the letter of St. Paul to the Galatians, has two levels. One is the level of abstraction and one is level of reality. Let us see the level of reality. Reality is, Paul states the reality of the people, that is the law. The Pharisees are focused on the outward, the reality which we can see. Similarly, namely, the circumcision as a sign of their physical sign to connection to God, the dietary laws which they have to follow, what they should eat and what they should not eat, and the Sabbath observance and the ritual purity, that means being clean before any rituals. But they forgot to give importance to the abstraction, namely the fruits of the Spirit: love, kindness, peace, joy, humility. So these are the abstractions which they have, they pay no heed to these things. So Paul finds out this one and gives the fruits of the Spirit. That means we should not led by the flesh but led by the Spirit. When we are led by the Spirit, the fruits of the Spirit comes. Similarly, in the Gospel we see the reality and abstraction. Jesus finds out the outward show of the Pharisees, namely the tithing. That means tithing is giving 1/10 of your salary or the agricultural produce. So whatever, if you have agricultural produce, 10% you have to give to the church, that means the temple, to sustain keep up the cleanliness and keep up the lives of the priests, temple priests, and all these things. So we are also give 10% of our salary. So the tithing, the Pharisees were following, and the seat of honor. In the synagogues, there is a different kind of seating is done. One is for the rabbis, one is for the cantors, and one is for the elders and the community leaders, and one side for the honored guests, and one side for men and women. So these are the different seating is done in the synagogue. So the Pharisees, they want the highest seat, that means the honored seat they want. And also Jesus also finds out the lawyers. The lawyers were finding guilt on the people. The guilt is that they are not following the laws of the Torah, namely the tithing they are not doing, and they don't come to synagogue. So many restrictions they were putting on normal people. So Jesus finds out this is not something important, but the abstraction. The abstraction here is the true devotion. That means the love of God and love of neighbor, which the Pharisees are unable to follow. And also the lawyers lack justice, mercy, and love for the people. So Jesus finds out this issue, the abstraction, rather than giving importance to the reality. And it not stops only in the Gospels or in the first reading. It also extends to our Eucharist today. So in our Eucharist, the reality is the proper justice that the priests do, and the rituals, the bread and wine, that we pray over them, and the excellent homilies and the novena prayers are given importance. But the abstraction is the Eucharistic issues. We have a lot of Eucharistic issues in our day-to-day life. For example, one is the caste issue. People are divided by the caste. So we are not addressing that issue. Inclusivity here, I mean here the rich and poor distinction. When we see in the parishes, most of you are realize the rich are called to light the lamp, the rich are called to read the readings, and the rich are called to do any public statements, but the poor are neglected. So this becomes an inclusive issue. And also the transformation. Transformation is, as we have studied, so it is related to a cup. One is the cup of covenant and one is the cup of suffering. So when we are faithful to the covenant, we are bound to suffer. So that is the transformation. We suffer in the name of Christ. So these are the abstractions that never happens when we celebrate Eucharist. We are focused only the external part of the Eucharist. So Eucharist, something that goes beyond Mass that we celebrate 45 minutes here. And also education. The reality is we are more focused on the marks, the grades, and how much ideas we consume and how much we understand the ideas. And the standard way of talking. These are the things we are focused. But abstraction is other-centeredness. How our education makes an impact with others. And problem solving. So, since you have understood the concept, how you are explaining to others to make them also understand. And the guidance. You have got knowledge on certain fields. And how that leads others. How you guide others with that same knowledge. And alertness. So you alert others of their mistakes. So these are the abstractions that which you are not seeing, that which are essential part of the education. Even we play music, you see, there are two realities. One is abstraction and one is reality. Reality is we are bound to play. And the abstraction is the joy and the involvement and the enjoyment that we give. So there are two levels of life in different ways. Even in the friendship you see, two levels. How you are friendly with others in two levels. One is just giving company for others. The second one is being really true friend to oneself. And our field work, it's not only the producing, how much we produce any vegetables or something, but the values that is comes under that. And even our words, not merely just speaking, but words of love, care, other-centeredness, respect, and all those things. Even words are two levels. So there are in our day-to-day life, we see any aspect, it has got two levels. So we need to find out these levels. So it is important that to find out these levels, we need to have a good thought. When you have a good thought, that leads to words, good words. And when we have good words, that leads to good actions. When we have good actions, that leads to habit. And the habit leads to behavior. And the behavior leads to character. When the character is perfect, we have achieved our destiny. What Jesus here means, the true devotion, the true love of God. So let us reflect, and in this Eucharist celebration, let us have that true thought which leads us to have the two levels of life. Live Jesus.